Hi, I'm Corey. This is 131 Woodworking. What I've got here is 6 panels of fencing. We're going to see if we can take these pile of trash and turn it into a flip-out trash can holder. So stay tuned, see if we can make it happen. After measuring my trash can, I come up with a very crude plan design. It's going to be about 35.5 inches tall, 13 inches deep, 20 inches wide. I hopeful to put a joint in it. I'm not sure. We'll see how we do it. But first thing we got to do is rough cut a bunch of lumber, and then see if we can't get them glued up into panels, and then we can start our construction. So over at the miter saw, we're going to rough cut all of our pieces to rough length. We're going to come about an inch-ish, half inch long. That way we got some room to trim up and square everything up. So for the side panels, we'll need 14 at 36 inches. For the top, we'll cut 8 at 21 inches. The door will be 10 at 26 inches. And then the drawer face, if we can make that work, we're gonna go ahead and cut 9 at 11 inches. So let's get the miter saw set up and start cutting. So now we've got all our pieces cut, it's time to start making our panels. Since this is rough wood, it's been out in the weather for some years to get that patina. I think I want to clean up the joints here to get a good glue up. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna make panels, and then we're gonna construct a basic cabinet box type thing. The other issue we have is a couple of them are warped, a little bit different size. So we're gonna actually use a joiner. Today we're going to clean up one face, one edge, and then we'll cut everything to 2-inch at the table saw. So I got the Wahonda 6-inch bench top joiner. Hindsight, I should have went with the 8-inch, but this thing does really good. So we'll get the vacuum turned on and start jointing some boards. Okay, we made it over the table saw. We're gonna start cutting these to 2 inches. Already got everything set up and we're ready to go. Just make sure that clean side is down, clean edge towards the fence. We're gonna cut these at 2 inches. Now the one thing that we wanna remember, especially on the top and the sides, is we wanna leave one piece with that edge, to keep the patina look that we're after on this project. So just keep that in mind. One piece, both side panels, top, doors and drawers don't matter, but both side panels and top, you definitely want to keep in mind that you want to keep one edge just like that. So I got about 45-ish boards to cut at 2 inch, so we're gonna put this on high speed and get to ripping. So we got all the pieces cut to 2 inches, even though I said don't forget to leave one edge with the patina. When I did the top, totally forgot. So now my top's gonna have a clean edge, but I'll keep the cut off pieces and I'll show you how to fix that. We might also end up using these to fill and trim pieces. So a little bit limited on clamps right now, so we're going to start by gluing the 2 sides up, and then limited on clamps, so we're going to start with the 2 sides. Once we get that, we can start constructing the cabinet portion of it. Then we'll move on to the top and then glue the door and the drawer front. We'll glue them up, let that set up and dry, and then we'll trim them to final dimensions, start construction, and here before too long this thing should start looking like something other than a pile of 2-inch boards. Just using Titebond too. It's got a decent amount of work time, so but not an eternity either. Well, let the glue dry overnight, pulled them out of the clamps, got the panels this morning. I went ahead and put the drawer face and the door face into the clamps to let those dry throughout the day as we cut our panels to final height and width, and start assembly of the cabinet carcass. So record button again when I was ripping those panels down to size. So we're ready to cut the rabbet in the back to accept our back panel. If you don't have a dado stack, you can use this with a normal blade. You just take a couple cuts. We have a dado stack, so 1/8 inch. I'm just gonna use the DeWalt dado stack. So one blade is a 1/8 inch. So we'll get this blade swapped out, cut our dados in the back, and then start assembly. So we're set up to cut the rabbet in our back to accept our 1/8 inch plywood backing. I've got my speed square set up to 5/16 of an inch, which is half the thickness of our panels. The easy way to do this is just set your speed square on the blade and rotate until you touch the top of the table. Make sure you're at the highest point, about right there. Set up our fence. We're going to cut about 1/4 inch away off of the back for the rabbet, or for the back panel. Just remember, this blade is much thicker than a standard saw blade. So we'll set our fence up to 12 3/4. There it is. So again, put your front edge up against the fence and we'll get to cutting. Here's what we've got so far. I decided after mounting the back, we were able to just use our rabbet, cut it to width and length, stapled it in across the top and across the rabbets there. Originally I was going to leave 1/2 inch hangover on the sides and the front. I decided instead to cut it to exact dimensions, and we'll fix that with some trim. We'll do some mitered edges, do the same for the bottom, and just give it a little bit cleaner look. So I guess next up, let's get some trim pieces cut. So we're going to use mitered edges to trim out the top and the bottom. The easiest way I found to do this so far is you're going to cut your side pieces, and you're just going to bevel 45-degree one side. That's it. It doesn't matter how long it is at this point, as long as it's as long or longer than your cabinet piece. We'll cut our two side pieces, get them snugged up to the size, and measure long point to long point. So we're not moving here. So it's 21 7/8. So we'll go over to the miter saw, get our piece, cut it to length. So I've used a digital angle finder to set my miter saw at 45 degrees. I've already cut the front piece. So when you're doing this, when your blade is flipped to the left like mine is, your first cut's going to be on the back side. Because this is the short side, the blade's going to come down at a 45 going like that. So you cut from the back first, you're going to flip it over, put it back, and then cut from the face for the other miter joint. So we're going to go 21 7/8. I'll probably cut it at just a tad bit proud, and then that gives me a little wiggle room for adjustments to sneak up on the cut, make a real nice miter. So here's a trick to show you. Since we're using aged wood, patinaed wood, pencil marks do not show up very well. So I'll actually take a You can use a marking knife. I'm just using a box blade out of a razor blade, but score a line, and it's easier to see, just easier to see. So mitered edge, trim piece 45/45. We got her face, so see if she fits. Here it is, moment of truth. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'll bring you in closer here. So here it is. Here's your mitered edge. That's the left side, and here's the right side. Again, that's the easiest way I found to cut those miters. It's a good fit. Again, the easiest way I found to cut these, miter trim pieces. The only issue I have right now is the two pieces of wood that I have are separate sizes, so there's a little bit of a gap, and we'll just clean that up right on the table saw. We'll get these stapled in and then be done for the day. So to trim off these edges, I just got a handsaw. I don't even know where I got this. I've had it for years, but it's a wood saw. You're just gonna take it, keep it flush against the back, and saw through. So we got our pieces the same width, same process. We're just gonna stick them up there, staple them in place. I will use a little glue to kind of help hold this together. So we'll start with, this will be the right side. It's upside down. I know it's on the left, but it's the right side of the cabinet. We'll go ahead and get that one put in place. Just take your short edge, line it right up to the edge of your project, staple it in place, and then we'll work around. On the glue. Since our since the top stringer is flipped upside down, we did that kind of to help conceal the trim, because if we would have, unless we would have cut this to certain size, we would not be able to hide it with this trim piece. So the next piece we're going to do is we're going to do the front piece. Again, make sure you get your miter on this side lined up. Your clean edge is facing up, so once we flip this cabinet over, it's facing down and you'll never see it, and we'll continue with that nice patina finish. I'm going to have to slide mine over to the edge a little bit, that way I can get my top nice and lined up. I'll just use a quick clamp, hold it in place. So just apply a liberal amount of glue, get your front trim piece lined up. Use a quick clamp to help us out here. Make sure that you're flush with the top. Yep. Grab a couple staples in. Form some miters, fill it up. Now we're ready for the last piece. So again, we're just gonna simply Just gonna pull it forward. Little glue, a couple staples, we'll be done with trim. Miter, get that. I'll actually start with the miter first and close that up. Miters are done. So now trim off the excess so you can see it hanging off the back. We'll trim this off. We'll just get a handsaw and come straight down the edge. Maybe have to do some sanding, and then see if there's more trimming we want to do. Well, do you remember where we started? If you don't, check that out. We actually split this up into two videos. I'll have all the final dimensions in the second video, and in next week's video, we will attach our door, build the door, and move it inside, see if Miss 131 tells me to burn it or she likes it. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining